You.
Looks like we're live, and this is a pop-up event of sorts. This is Bill Bostic, longtime publisher of Linglestown Gazette, now known as Linglestown Gazette, edgy local news. And as I look at the screen, to my left is Joe Gilloway, who's the top guy at This and That, the podcast. That's his creation. I help him out a little bit. In fact, he got me a hat this week, and you're wearing yours.
Looks good, Bill.
Thank you, Joe.
Certainly.
We've made it to the big time. So
Oh, yeah.
tonight we're going to go over news that you probably have not heard because it has not gotten reported very much.
I have breaking news. We'll get to that later, but it's
Okay.
breaking. I'm going to be the first one that's going to let this out.
Yeah. And the reason why you haven't heard about it is that until Linglestown Gazette, edgy local news, has started to do some rumbling, it's just me, but we have big plans, and hopefully it's going to be a legitimate news service in the near term. But up until this date, we really only have a little bit that I'm doing, nothing else. We are in a news desert, folks. And before we get into the details here, that really upsets me, Joe, a little bit. And the fact that I told people at the township meeting this past Tuesday, July 8th, that when you look at the Constitution of the United States, the preamble, do you know what the first three words are, Joe?
We the people?
We the people. In other words, we are the ones that authorize government officials at all levels, including the local level. And there was a guy, maybe you can, if you have some political history, Joe, there was a senator from Massachusetts who said all politics are local. Do you remember who that was?
Listen, I'm just going to guess Michael Dukakis. Michael Dukakis.
No, it wasn't. It was some big guy. I don't know. I'll have to look it up after. But it was a famous quote.
I usually get your trivia questions, Bill. You got me there.
Yeah. Anyways, all politics are local. So it starts at the local level. Here we are in Lower Paxton Township, the 13th largest municipality in all of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. 13th.
Tip O'Neill, Bill. Tip O'Neill.
Tip O'Neill. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Yep.
No problem. You're Joe is serving as my producer tonight, so this is what producers do, and you do a fine job, Joe.
Thank you.
But we the people don't even know what's going on in our township for the most part, because the township building in the meeting room, how many people do you think could fit in there? 50?
Can fit in there closer to 100, Bill.
If you standing room only, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So even if you had 100, that means that 54,900 people are not in the know, basically. So
Right.
Most of us aren't in the know. You need a news source because we, the people, we authorize our elected officials to do what they do. If we don't know what's going on, we're not in control. We're not driving what's going on. And we have to get back to a point in this country where the citizens are more involved. We're just not sitting back and watching the evening news. We're actively involved. And that's what we're shooting for. That's really the purpose behind Linglestown Gazette, edgy local news. This is edgy, that someone would come out and say, look, we the people aren't in control because we don't know what's going on. There's no news source. This Constitution gives us the power to have freedom of the press. And we're going to take care and get that back into our community. Maybe, Joe, if we can figure out how to do it here, it may happen across the country. It's possible. We could be sparking something here in our locale that could impact the nation, across the nation. So this is
coast to coast edginess, Bill. Coast to coast.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to be edgy. Don't you think the people who started this country were a little bit edgy to go up against Great Britain and said, we're not following your rules anymore, King?
Definitely had an edge to them.
Absolutely. And we've lost that edge. So we're going to get it back. Couple big announcements here. Joe, I think Joe's going to help me out here. With Linglestown Gazette, we're going to have what's called pop-up events, like this show. I just announced it today. I think it's today. It all happened, right? Early this morning we
Yes.
got together. We're going to do
I
this.
mean, it's pretty obvious, but explain to the viewers who don't know what is a pop-up event.
A pop-up event is something that just sort of happens. We give you some advance notice. What's the next one going to be? The next one's going to be a pop-up newsroom. Newsroom. So we're going to take Linglestown Gazette newsroom. You see my great library back here.
Yeah.
Joe's in his upstairs studio. He has two in his house,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to take it out. Probably. Well, I'm not going to say. I have to verify this tomorrow. I have a place in mind. Joe helped me pick it out, and we're gonna say, just come over if you want to talk about anything Lower Paxton Township, Central Dauphin School District. We're going to be here, all ears, interact with you, maybe get some story ideas, and we're going to share a cup of coffee, and we're going to do what we do in newsrooms. We're going to talk about current events in our locality, so we can start to move to be more informed and taking some action to help guide our township.
And you
And
know,
then,
an ideal scenario, Bill, would be if we're there again, having a cup of coffee,
right,
just hanging out with some of our guests, our viewers that come. We want to inform them of some things, and we want to
right,
have them inform us of some
absolutely.
things. Right? We want to kind of share information with one another.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about a topic where the public interacting on Facebook informed me about a lot of things. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And last but not least, it's going to be a pop-up event Tuesday evening. This is going to be at 7 o'clock. And what we're going to be doing there is I'm going to be inviting all listeners, everyone that's involved with viewing these live Facebook lives, those who read the stories and all the stuff that goes on in Linglestown Gazette on Facebook. You're going to be invited to give me a birthday toast. Joe, I'm going to be 67 years of age,
Nice.
starting my 68th year on the earth on Tuesday night. And I want people to go. We're going to go to Underdog Sports Bar and Grill 22 out on Allentown Boulevard, 6197. We'll have information on the Facebook page.
Okay.
So won't be long, probably an hour, but we're going to have some fun. And maybe some of you will want to toast me. Maybe I'll toast you. Maybe you'll have some things I'll toast. I'll probably have one beer, and that'll be it.
Okay.
So how about that, Joe?
Sounds like a great time.
Yep, looking forward to it. So that's that. And then there's a contest tonight. People can win stuff tonight. And here's how it's going to work. Joe, you're shocked. You probably, what am I pulling off now, right?
I just didn't know it was in the budget.
Well, I think what it amounts to, if you win, you have your choice of having coffee with me at St. Thomas Roasters, or we can go to the Eagle or maybe Underdog for a beer. Your choice.
Okay, that's
If
in the
you win.
budget.
I'm taking it. It's just me and a guest. So it doesn't, Linglestown Gazette has no budget, zero budget, but this is something I'm just doing on a social basis. So I can convince my CEO here in the household that this is fine. So what you need to do is go to my Facebook page, Bill Bostic. You'll see it. You see my name there underneath my face, my ugly mug on your screen. And when you find my page, the cover photo is a lake. It's actually Laurel Lake. I think it's Laurel Lake in Pine Grove Furnace State Park. You want to go and scroll down to June 27th. Now I'm going to have this in the comments as well. June 27th, I had a post. It was done at 12:09 a.m. It was like crack of dawn, not crack of dawn, but the early morning, 12:09 a.m. And what I do is my rendition of the chorus of Lady Gaga's "The Edge of Glory." Joe, have you seen that?
I have not. No.
You should. You should. So what all you have to do is share my rendition of Lady Gaga's "Edge of Glory" to as many people as you can. We want to get this out broad and widely so people can experience the artistry of one Bill Bostic singing the chorus. Or spread the word about my singing career that's been launched. It was actually launched Memorial Day 2019.
So they have to listen to you sing in order to.
That's up to them. They just need to share. I don't care if they listen to it or not.
Okay, 'cause I was going to say they're earning that beer or that coffee if that's the
You would be if you listened to it for sure.
case.
So I'll repeat this in a few minutes. Joe, a couple quick things now. We're going to try and do this rapid fire. We're already 10 minutes into it. Let's get
Okay.
into things that people don't know that because they weren't widely reported. It looks like there may be life yet in Coon's Pool.
Yeah.
There may be life because the Channel 27, ABC 27, WHTM did a report, went out to the pool, showed it in its current condition, talked to a neighbor who said, man, I haven't seen anything going on here. It's dead. It's not happening, right? And, so basically painted that picture. And we have to a certain degree, too. Unlikely that it's going to open in the summer because of some difficulties getting lifeguards at a minimum. But Forrest Healy, who apparently he's one of the board members, said, don't believe everything you hear on Facebook. They apparently have done some advanced investigation, brought in companies to take a look at this thing with the money they got from state government. And they apparently have a better idea what's happening. And they're now making plans to pay for and find the right contractors to do something. So that's as much as I know. That's a very cryptic message I got from Forrest and Facebook.
It's worth mentioning, Bill, that it's a 65-year-old pool.
Yeah, right.
Okay. That's what,
56.
56?
Something like that.
Something. Between the two of
Maybe
us.
53.
Maybe we can't come up with it. Well, yeah, it's an old pool. So, and I think part of the reason why people kind of, if I can say it, became a little bit up in arms over the past weeks are we did a show on it, or that was one of our segments. I think it was our first show ever.
Yes, first show.
Nobody on the show said that, yep, we're definitely opening. It's a done deal.
Right.
Get ready, get your copper tone out, your beach balls and all that. Nobody said that. But the message I think that we left people was a message of hope that it might open, that they were working towards it. Well, that was our most viewed podcast, Bill, this and that.
Okay. All right.
There was like 1,900 views a week in. I bet that could be in the mid 2000s now. And my point being, there was a lot of people that heard that and probably misconstrued the message.
Right.
Okay. Nobody ever said, Forrest Healy, he said the original plan was to stay closed this season and make repairs, which is still the plan. There was never an official statement saying otherwise. That being said Forrest, through this process, we found the testing late last year wasn't thorough and dependable enough, and we hired a very reputable pool company for advanced leak and structural testing. So,
yeah, where did you find that, Joe?
The message there is it's a comment that was made on a Facebook thread.
Okay.
In order to reach a financial and safe level to reopen the pool, we have gotten several estimates and are working through the business process to move forward. And there's a business process. This stuff costs money, and there's a budget involved, and you're just not throwing money at it. As far as the grant we received, this is important too. As far as the grant we received, and certainly appreciate, it unfortunately only scratches the surface compared to what needs to be done. Thankfully, we have a strong board and committed community to help bring back Coons Pool to its former glory. Stay tuned. That's it.
Okay.
That says a lot right there. That's 2 or 3 paragraphs, but you could typically trust Forrest Healy when it comes to Linglestown news, right? I mean, I do. He's kind of trustworthy.
He's very careful with that Linglestown neighbors, because I put some things up there. He didn't accept them.
I'm sorry to drag that out if I did, but everything there was important, I thought.
Right. Absolutely. Because you found a better version than I found. So again, you're coming through. You're literally an all-star producer. You don't even know it.
Bill, when you said we're going to do this pop-up, and Joe, I want you to produce it, I got to work. I had other stuff going on. But I dropped what I was doing and I got to work. And I have one more thing. Other than that, I'm just going to support you. No, not now. Yeah, whenever.
Okay. We're going to move on. This is going to be commentary. When some of the stuff I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to change my hat to my fedora. But this is commentary. This is not reporting. This is me coming up with some analysis of the fireworks that happened July 3rd. Joe and I went through this, last week sometime, a little bit.
Yeah.
Last Thursday, we went through this.
A
And
lot.
basically, what's that?
We went through it a lot, more
You
than
went
a
through it
little
a lot,
bit.
yes.
Yeah, we did a whole segment on it.
Whole segment. And what our analysis was that the fire companies were involved, but Mr. Adam Kashiba, our Lower Paxton Township Director of Public Safety, and the people he works with, which includes fire, police, and county, all kinds of officials. They did an excellent job of putting together a public safety plan.
Yes.
That was, even though there was 11 arrests. I mean, they had a plan and they executed it, and they kept a lid on anything bad that could have happened.
That's it. I like this word. That's a pittance. 11 arrests is a pittance. Pittance, P-I-T-T-A-N-C.
Pittance. Oh, yeah.
That's a pittance when it comes to how many people were there and how kind of juiced everybody is, fired up, excited. So yeah, 11. We're not too concerned about. The most important thing is nobody got injured, as far as I know.
Well, there were some minor injuries. No one was carted away in a
Right.
ambulance or anything like that.
Correct.
But I'm probably one of the few people that have seen this thing evolve completely, in that I was involved watching the meetings when there was a big controversy about moving the fireworks over to George Park. I saw all that happen. And basically what I learned from that discussion was that Coons Park presents some significant challenges to our police when it comes to controlling what goes on there, because if something happens, and some things did happen last Tuesday or whatever it was, Thursday maybe. I get confused. Sorry. I'm sorry, folks.
Thursday, Bill.
Thursday. When it happened Thursday. There's so many ways that people who do wrong and need to be arrested can escape Coons Park. It's very porous. There's just no barriers. And that presents big problems for the police. And they thought that George Park had some of those elements that might be better. It didn't work out. So the police had to go through the planning process, knowing they had a big challenge on their hands. Coons Park, not ideal for crowd control.
Right.
Okay. And they did, like I said, they did an excellent job. But this is beyond the police. I mean, Joe, put the picture up that I sent over to you. Here's my concern. When you have to go this far and bring in, these guys are called Dauphin County Crisis Response Team. When you have to go this far, I think and have these people in the mix. They were stationed at a command center beside the primary Little League field over by the cemetery in Coons Park. They moved them forward into the center of the park at the big aerial truck that had the ladder extended way up in the air. They moved them forward during the 7:00 hour because last year problems started to creep in to the fireworks show with kids and everything, mixing it up with police and throwing stuff at horses during that hour. So they moved them up, a show of force, right? And then, so we have to go this far, Joe. I think that it's a signal that there's something wrong somewhere, not with the police, but somewhere. There's a problem here.
Oh, there's lots wrong in a lot of places,
well, here's the primary problem. I'll throw it out here. Maybe you can respond to this. Okay. I think the primary problem we're dealing with is because this event has the food trucks and they open things up at 5 or 5:30, we have the potential for some kids and adults. We'll assume for the moment that the adults will behave themselves, short of the 61-year-old that got in trouble. We'll assume that they're going to handle things okay. But the youth that are there have from 5, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30 even, till 9:30 that they're going to be there waiting for these fireworks. There's a huge amount of time there for these kids to be roaming around.
Yeah, that's a lot of time to get a lot of time brewing.
Exactly. And I think my suggestion would be not to cancel the fireworks. I don't think anyone's talking about that based on Tuesday's supervisors meeting. They were happy that the police were there to keep things straight. But I think we should move back the start of the event. I mean, the police had closed down the park all day long. And I think that should be extended into 7 or 7:30 at night. So that the park just is going to be off limits as they prepare, put the fireworks together. We're just going to close that thing down. They did that this year in part during the day until we got closer to 5. And then after it opens up, then people can come in and have a shorter period of time when they're there, where you could show up at 7:30 or 8 or 8:30 or even 8:45, 9, and still be able to get in there and see the fireworks. So that's my suggestion. I don't have a big suggestion as far as the food trucks. If they want to bring some food trucks in, have some beverages, desserts, maybe a couple of sandwiches, whatever people can get in the evening like that, fine. I don't think that's causing the problem. I think it's all these youth who are attracted to this event, no supervision from parents, and they're there far too early. There's too much time. That's my take on it, Joe.
Okay.
So that's going to be I'm going to file a report with Mr. Koshiba with my thoughts. So like it or not, that's what I'm thinking on the fireworks. What, you have any response to my take?
No. I think you nailed it. I haven't been down there. I've been to the fireworks a bunch of times, but I really haven't had a good lay of the land. I haven't been down there enough to watch how the traffic's flowing and at what time people are starting what time the crowds are starting to grow. So it's hard to have an opinion when you haven't seen any of that stuff kind of play out,
Right. I guess the other thing they could do in closing on this segment is that so many of the youth do not have the young people. I'm talking about kids age 15 and under. If you're driving, I'm going to put you in a different class. So 15 and under, people have witnessed and told me if they live on LaRue Street near North Mountain at 5 o'clock, 5:15, the cars start showing up. These kids get out of the car and then the car drives away. I mean, they're just left there on their own. And then down the road, they figure out how to find them to pick them up. So that we know that's happening, and that's not a great situation for young people to not have any supervision. And the only thing I can think of is that this wouldn't be a perfect solution, but a key entry points to the park. Whenever we could have police potentially staged out there, and if people are dropping kids off and not they're saying that they're leaving, we'll come pick you up later, that they would somehow say, look, advertise that we're not going to, we discourage anyone from doing that. We don't want that to happen. So you couldn't completely shut off.
No, you couldn't.
But you might be able to eliminate some of them. I know it's something for them to think about. It's not the public safety people will take a look at that.
So it's overwhelmingly, as you put it, the youth who are
that's what I call
causing the scuttlebutt, right?
Yes.
Or as Joe Pesci referred to it, and my cousin Vinny, the Utes in question.
The what?
Utes. It would be spelled Y-U-T-E-S. Utes.
Youth.
That's how you pronounce youth.
Okay.
Utes.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to move on, folks. Leave your comments on the here.
Let's see. We do have one here.
What's it say?
Oh, it's our welcome to Linglestown Gazette, where you'll find timely updates on Lower Paxton Township and CD School District news and happenings. So that's not a
okay.
Yeah. All
right. Next, we're going to talk about some things. I had a brief meeting. Well, not really brief. I had an opportunity to sit down with former Lower Paxton Township manager Brad Gottschall, who's not too far removed from being our township manager, and just to touch base with him, see what's going on with him. He's actually looking for work as we speak. He's had some interviews, and to get him to fill in some gaps in information as far as some of the things that are happening in the township that wasn't widely reported. And it wasn't widely reported because, again, we don't have a reporter. I'm serving that role to some degree right now. But also, Brad opted, for whatever reason, not to give a manager's report oftentimes. Did you ever see him give a manager's report, Joe?
I have, usually, yes.
Okay, occasionally. But some things came out the day after, like he resigned, and the agreements were all approved on a Tuesday. that Wednesday morning, Penn Live had a story. They interviewed Brad overnight somehow. And
Okay.
he mentioned some of the good things he thought he was doing. And they did mention a couple of them, but I have a more detailed list. We'll just run through them right here. Um, let's see. The first one is, these first two are sort of wonky. We'll put it that way, getting into weeds of all this. But he had to negotiate. Sometimes whenever you get a job, Joe, and you have group health insurance, and maybe your wife has group health insurance, you may opt out. Just go with your wife's plan, right? Well, he worked on that opt out thing that ended up saving the township quite a bit of money. He indicated to me $500,000 a year. That it was
Wow.
more generous. He was giving he negotiated a more generous opt out. It was small to begin with. The new one's higher.
You
He
get a
actually,
portion of it back in monetary. It's added to your paycheck or something,
yes,
but
because
a much smaller portion. Yeah.
you're not using the group plan. You're not causing
Correct.
them to pay out the big amount of money, especially for a
Yes.
family plan. And um, it also turned out that turned out to be a recruitment thing, because people, when they found out that the opt-out program for health insurance was there and they could get some money if they didn't come into the township's plan, it turned out to be a recruitment thing too. So that was good. The second one was he went to a conference and found out some strategies that could be used to save the township money on the township pension program, for employees, for the union firework, police officers, future firefighters, and all that. So that also saved, he said, approximately over $1 million. That particular strategy. We're not going to get into it because that's way too technical for this show, and I don't fully understand it. He had to go to a conference to actually find out how that worked.
So we're talking 1.5 million if both of those numbers are accurate
Right, about
between the
per
health
year.
insurance and that million. Yeah.
And the one thing he was directly responsible for that you can relate to, he tackled pedestrian safety issues. The primary location was Union Deposit Road. And if you think back, there's been some deaths, apparently over a period of time, 3 deaths with pedestrians in that Union Deposit corridor.
That's a wide road, a
Yeah.
very highly traveled road. People are traveling at high rates of speed. So yes.
So this is from 81 out towards Central Dauphin East High School was the
Right.
focus, where all the residential stuff is
Right in
happening.
front of the Point Shopping Center is where you're
Yes.
probably going to get
And
most of
then
the
and then
traffic trying to
pushing towards
cross.
the high school, pushing towards CD East, all that
Okay.
residential stuff, people crossing, there's parks, schools, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
He had a 3-phase program. I'm not going to go into it. Maybe I'll report on it separately. And a 4th phase that he wanted to do that wasn't funded at the time he left the job. So those are some of the things that he did not blow his own horn enough on, that the stuff that he was doing.
So let's say that those numbers are accurate, and
Yeah,
just with those two issues that themselves, he saved the township 1.5 million.
right.
What I don't think people understand is, okay, the guy's making $180,000 a
Yeah,
year, okay, and I don't want to get back into that too much. That's why people like him are making pretty good money,
right.
earn an aggressive paycheck because they have jobs that are important, and the outcome of what they're doing within that job or for the township is can have consequences and positive ones in a lot of cases. You
Right.
follow me?
Absolutely.
I mean,
And
yeah, people
so the
don't know
thing,
about it. If you wouldn't have just said that, I wouldn't have known that.
no, because I sort of scolded Brad a little bit. When you go to your next job, you need to let people know what you're doing.
Sure,
Don't keep it in.
sure.
Um, and the other thing I'll say about Brad, I had a very constructive conversation with him. He knows that across the board there were some issues he had, things he needs to work on as he goes to his next
He's
position.
young.
Yeah, he's 35 years old.
Yeah.
35 years, and he served at 2 small boroughs in our Commonwealth. One, Indiana borough out in Western PA, and I think Millersville was the other one. And they're both small. and he comes to a 13th largest municipality. So from day one, he had a big job. So it's going to be a stepping stone for him. Unfortunately, because of all the scuttlebutt that's been on the internet, he indicated when he's interviewing, that comes up. People do the internet searches. They see what was going on in Lower Paxton. He has to spend time explaining what went on there. So I'm sure he'll get through that.
Sometimes, Bill,
very well. Yeah.
When relationships, let's just say, go south,
right,
when they go bad,
that's absolutely right.
You're never able to restore them. You're never able to go, okay, time out. Let's start all over again here. I mean, because human beings, and I'm not even talking about which side or I'm not going to, but people have egos. People think they're right or the other person's wrong. And once you kind of jump on that train, it's hard to come back from that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
in this case, Joe, clearly for political reasons, it got to be out of control. It really, the only outcome was going to be that Brad was going to be the guy going.
Which supports what I was just saying. There was no coming back from all that once they got to that point. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I appreciate Brad meeting with me. It's very, very helpful for me to understand what was going on. Before we move on, let's reintroduce the show, Joe. This is Linglestown Gazette, edgy local news, Facebook Live. We're going over news that you may not know because it's not reported. We're trying to get some reporting in the township, but we're not there yet. We have a lot of work to do, a very difficult job, but I think I'm up to it. I'm ready to go. I'm still energized.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Anthony Cristillo watching from Ocean City, Maryland.
So
Anthony, we have out-of-state viewers now, Bill.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Anthony, I missed you at the coffee shop. I figured you were down there. Anthony loves the shore. He'll spend all day on the beach, and that's where he gets that great tan. Now, next, I think I mentioned this in another show, but I want to mention it again because not too many people. Do you know, Joe, that on June 23rd, the school board enacted a 4.75% tax hike?
Yes.
You did. I think I told you.
Things. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I knew before, but
you knew that. Okay.
I should know that. Yeah.
All right. Well, you get a star.
Okay.
Many people don't know that, and when they see their tax bill go up, especially if they have a larger property, they're going to notice. 4.75 is going to be a noticeable amount.
Right.
Just want to give you that good news, everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
But this brings up another point. At this point in time, I'm doing, I would call a adequate, reasonable job covering Lower Paxton Township. Would you agree with that? I'm doing okay. I can't be everywhere. I'm still working full time, but there's information flowing on the township.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So we're somewhat covered there. We have no coverage of Central Dauphin School District and what goes on at the school board. Zero. We don't have anyone. Now, I am calling for help. Help! I'm sinking. Okay.
SOS.
Yeah, SOS when it comes to the school board. There's got to be someone who goes to those meetings religiously. That you're sitting there and taking it all in. You could be a big help to this operation.
Or watches them from home. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we just want to mention that.
I mean, the best scenario would be that you'd watch it and write a story. I'm not expecting that. That would be the best. If someone, like for example, Jay Purdy is a former TV news reporter, and so he knows how to put words together. He just did a fabulous op-ed on, what's it called? The place over by the Hodges Heights. Did you read that, Joe?
I did not. No.
It's worth a look. It's worth a look, I tell you. So Jay is wonderful for this community. It's going to be a community news operation, not Bill Bostic's Linglestown Gazette. That's sort of what happened in the past. This has got to be a community news organization. So if anyone can take notes, that would be a big help. So if there's anyone out there, just that this is sort of tickling your ear, please be in touch with me. I'm sure we can work out something and maybe get some information flowing about the school district. and we would know, instead of me finding out a week later, we would have known June 24th about this tax hike.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Next, this is something that happened. Joe, you were at the meeting this past Tuesday. This is July 8th. Very few people in the township know that the chairwoman of the board, Laura Kurtz, spent about 15, 20 minutes explaining something she wants to spearhead, and that is an development authority, which is essentially economic development, government doing stuff that's going to spur development or redevelopment. What she did was sort of introduce the idea and say, hey, I'm interested in doing this. I'm going to work with the board on it. And she explained all the vehicles that the state government provides for a township to raise money to do whatever they're going to do. Okay. And I think there's a couple obvious places where that development authority could be a big help. One, which do you have? What's by far the biggest one?
I would say Colonial Park Mall has to be the leading
Absolutely.
candidate for something like that.
Absolutely. That would be the major one. That, again, the danger with that mall is that we're coming up to the danger point right now. And that is because the largest tax bill they have to face is coming due, the school tax. And if they miss that, they probably, my guess will be they're not going to pay it, but they have a period of time to make that good. I think 2 years. They'll probably play the game and not pay it. But eventually, hopefully, so far that the tax bills have been paid on that property. If they're not paid, we have a problem, because the school has a problem because they're not getting the cash. The township has a problem because they're not getting the cash. And then the other thing is that some of these malls fall into great disrepair and become crime havens. There was one in Hanover within the last year or so that was they get torched part of it.
I think the laws are too lenient when it comes to that stuff. I don't understand why you would get 2 years to make tax payments.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Do you know for sure? I think that's what it is. Based on
No,
what
I don't know for sure, but if that is
Okay.
it, I mean, and then they're protected because it's a corporation or an LLC or whatever.
Well, it goes, even if you don't pay your taxes, Joe, it's the same thing. If you let it go beyond 2 years, then they can sell your property at a property tax sale,
Right.
just auction it off. So it doesn't matter whether it's a business. It's it's that tax. Whoever is being taxed has that period of time. What do you have any other ones? I have at least one more that we could think about, and that would be Villa Teresa.
Yeah, that's kind of a funky. That's been like that for 35, 40 years.
Well, just describe, if you would. I'm starting to get winded here.
Okay,
Describe.
it's a nursing home.
Yeah,
It's a former nursing home, correct? I don't know, 5 stories probably. I think 5 stories, 4 or 5. It's kind of a, relative to the buildings around it, it's kind of a high rise, and it sits up on a hill. This is the most unlevel land you'll find.
Yeah, it's like
as with
right
most,
at the top.
Right. As with most nursing homes, there's not a lot of parking because nobody in the nursing home has a car. You know, the guests do, the visitors and the employees. So it's just not, to me, Bill, it's not a desirable piece of land.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not a desirable piece of land. When I was a kid, when I was a ute,
A ute.
when I was a ute, it was open.
Yeah.
But I'm 59 years old. It probably closed when I was in my late teens, early 20s. That's how long it's been closed. So
Yeah.
I don't know what you'd want to do there. It's not a really big tract of land either.
Well, the thing that someone mentioned is low income housing.
I don't know if the buildings. I don't know if the building.
Well,
it's certainly not turnkey or close to turnkey.
No, I don't know.
I heard
That's
there
just
was
an
problems
idea.
there. Yeah, I heard there was problems there with the structurally or something with the plumbing or the sewage or something. So
Yeah, and the other place. By the way, Joe, we should have talked about this. Part of your job tonight should have been have me. I'm reporting now. I'm reporting facts, so I should have had my fedora on. Right,
Bill, can I be real honest with you?
Yeah.
That to me
The what?
That to me looks more along the lines of a Swiss Alps hat.
That's the
Okay.
best I can do. It's
It's
the
not
best.
big enough. Like a fedora, you want something that sits down a little bit.
All right.
Like
Here's the
Frank
deal,
Sinatra.
Joe.
Frank
Joe.
Sinatra
Joe.
wore a
Here's
fedora.
what you need to do. You can be a big help. We'll have to go shopping for a fedora, and you can help me pick out one.
Okay.
That might be a project because this does look ridiculous.
I didn't say that.
Well, I did. It's sort of ridiculous. Joe, the other thing, did you get do you have that picture of the properties in Linglestown that you could put up?
Yeah.
Bring that up. Because this is the third right here. It seems like half of Linglestown's business district is up for sale. Um, 5 buildings are all on one big lot, apparently. You see the clock, Joe? Well,
Yes.
the building just to the left there with the 4 posts and the flag, that's St. Thomas Restaurant. Pretty good place for breakfast and lunch. And then beside that is a former residence that's been used for businesses. There's also a frame shop in a little building. And I think there's a couple other residential properties. Joe, what was the price on this? The asking price?
1.15 million, Bill.
1.15 million. Some of the
1.15.
some of the properties could be turned into Airbnbs. Um, so it
I mean,
has
there's
some.
already an Airbnb right there, right
We have
on the
two of
same
them.
stretch.
We have 2 of them
How
in the
many
village.
Airbnbs does Linglestown need? Maybe more than I think. I
I
don't
don't.
know.
I don't know how those Airbnbs are making out, but I'm just saying that's an option for someone to do that. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. So this could be another form of economic development to help to move along Linglestown, the capital of Lower Paxton Township, make it a sort of a little bit of a jewel where people regionally at least could be attracted in here.
So explain to the people, the viewers, where exactly that stretch is.
Where what?
Did you explain exactly where that stretch is? That's right on the square.
It's right on Square, right across from the auto detailer. That's
Right.
in not. It's sort of east, just east across the street from St. Thomas Roasters. It's
Right.
really it's literally in the square of Linglestown. That five buildings are up for sale. So that's another thing that could be done with economic development.
Right.
Folks, what you're listening to is Linglestown Gazette, edgy local news. This is our live Facebook Live. Let's see what we're doing here. We have a contest that's happening. What you need to do is go to my Facebook page, Bill Bostic. There's a lake on the cover photo. Scroll down to a post I did on June 27th. I posted it at 12:09 a.m., just after midnight. And you'll see I have a segment there, a very short video, where I sing the chorus of Lady Gaga's The Edge of Glory. It's a wonderful thing. I practiced endlessly before I did this. I've gotten some good comments, not so much about my singing, Joe, but about the sentiment of how I did that.
Okay.
You want to hear what the sentiment was?
Certainly.
This was on Memorial Day Eve, 2019. I said, look, any veteran, any soldier, whether they're currently working in the military or they're a veteran and they served in a war, a battlefield scenario, anytime any of those folks stepped on the battlefield, they were on the edge of glory. And I wanted to give them credit and congratulate them and thank them from the bottom of my heart for anyone who chose to do that. I cannot imagine what it's like. I mean, to put your life on the line for your country. I never was in the military. I mean, this is an amazing thing, and I wanted to give them credit. And I sung my heart out, as terrible as it may be. And what I want to do is spread the word that about our military veterans. So when you get to that, all you need to do is share it. Share it with as many people as you want. And I'll try and determine who has shared it the most. and whoever I come up with that I believe had the most shares, you'll have the option of going for a cup of coffee with me to St. Thomas Roasters. That is the Capitol building of Lower Paxton Township. Okay, that's where all the big decisions are made at that coffee shop before it really gets into an official meeting.
Give me an
And then,
example of a big decision that's made there, Bill, or has been made there.
trying to think, we just had one. Well, I'm drawing a blank because
That's
I'm pretty
okay.
much.
That's all right.
I think sometimes supervisors come in there, people who are movers and shakers. Anthony Cristillo, we
Right.
work all this stuff out ahead of time, and then we try and lobby and get word to the right people that this is what we think coming out of that St. Thomas Roasters.
Okay.
So it's
All
a
right.
hub. It's a hub of political activity, community service. You really need to come and check it out. It's amazing. So either a cup of coffee there with me, or I'll take you out for a beer, wine, whatever. We'll go to either the Eagle if it's open, or we can go over to the Underdog on 22, right next to Ollie's.
Okay.
So that's what you'll win. So and we have one more thing to do. Joe, you don't have a picture of Raising Cane, do you? The
I don't.
ramp?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, I just wanted to make mention of it. Maybe we'll do it again sometime. But Raising Cane, the new chicken place on 22, is getting recognized by the township because they went beyond the call of duty and put a ramp in there. If you look at that property, the store and their parking lot's elevated. It's much higher than Route 22. So they put a ramp in to take you, a pedestrian, down the slope right to a crosswalk to go over to the other side of 22. So they're getting recognized for that, being forward thinking. The township did not require that, but they did that. So that was the last point I wanted to make.
Okay. All right.
Now, just a couple reminders, and then we'll get out of here. We're only at 47 minutes, which is good. We didn't want it to be this too long. Joe and I are going to be doing pop-up events. Tonight was a pop-up event of sorts. Just out of the blue, I put alert. We're going to have a Facebook Live tonight. But we're going to have a pop-up event. Oh, here's the other pop-up event. Two more to mention. On Tuesday night, it's my birthday. On Tuesday, I'll be 67. I'm inviting Linglestown Gazette viewers and readers, those who are following, to Underdog Sports Bar and Grill, 22. 6197 Allentown Boulevard. I'll put this in the show notes. We're going to have, hopefully, there'll be some people there. I can toast you for coming out to a live event that Linglestown Gazette has been involved with. And then you can toast me, if you choose to celebrate my 67th birthday. Joe, you've known me for a while. I don't think I look like I'm 67. I certainly don't feel like I'm 67.
No.
But that's just the way it is. Time flies.
That's correct.
That's going to be Tuesday night at 7:00. Okay. So invite those people and check out the contest. And that about does it, Joe. Now you have one thing you want to wrap up with.
Yeah, this is breaking, Bill.
Breaking news, folks. Breaking news.
There's kind of there's a situation down in the borough of Highspire that's going kind of maybe just regional viral, but viral. It's gotten well out of the Highspire, Steelton, Middletown area. And that's that the Borough Council, I believe just last week, the Highspire Borough Council announced an ordinance that would prohibit all people, including children, from playing any kinds of games on public streets, alleys, or sidewalks. Okay? Imagine this, what I'm talking about. No hopscotch, unless you're doing it on your own driveway or own sidewalk.
Right, your sidewalk.
Some people have basketball hoops that are out in the street.
Yeah, I have them in my neighborhood.
Right. You want to pass football. When the cars come, you usually get off to the side, let the cars go by. I'm just trying to give people an idea of this is what playing in the streets or on the sidewalks is all about.
Could you roller skate, go roller blade?
Not under these. Not under. No. That's playing, Bill. The ordinance said the following: ball playing, including throwing, kicking, or knocking. I never heard of knocking a ball. Throwing snowballs or throwing any stone or other missile of any kind, blah, 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 strictly prohibited. So basically they're trying to prohibit fun. And I would
Yeah.
imagine there was probably an incident or two, a couple incidences where maybe kids were kind of getting unruly with drivers, passerbys, or. But anyway, so I left a message for Mayor Von Hess, Highspire Mayor
What?
Von Hess,
Hold on a second. How did you learn about this? Was it on the news?
Facebook.
Oh, Facebook.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
All
where I
right.
learn everything, Bill.
I thought maybe you were like me and I go to a newspaper, but no, you go to
No,
Facebook.
no, there's a
You
lot
know,
to learn on.
you should check out TikTok too.
I'm a lazy consumer of news, of information. Okay.
I am so disappointed. Oh
I
my
can be
God.
on there doing high school sports and sharing pictures of my kiddies and all kinds of stuff and learning about the local news all at once.
Oh
So
boy.
I left a message on Friday afternoon for Highspire Mayor Von Hess, and then another message, I believe, yesterday or yeah, probably yesterday for Borough Manager Mark Stonebreaker. Don't you know Mayor Hess calls me this
Okay.
morning? Calls me back this morning. Mayor Von Hess, Joe, returning your call. Uh, in a nutshell, he said that that's DOA, that ordinance that they
Dead
were going
on
to
arrival.
dead on arrival.
Yeah.
He's not allowing it to go any further. It's going to be removed from the agenda of the next. What kind of meeting would that be? Council meeting, borough
Right.
council meeting.
Yeah.
Done. He also said, which I didn't know, and you sounded a little surprised. He said, had it gotten to that point, he would have, what's it called?
Veto.
Vetoed it. He would have
Yeah.
vetoed it. Yeah, that's kind of. I didn't realize that a mayor
I
can veto a borough
No, I mean,
council.
in my experience, Joe, the only thing I've seen mayors do is they have the ability to break a tie vote. Let's say not
Okay,
all the board, they'd have that. I never saw anything about vetoes.
but
Maybe
my
they have.
my my Swiss Alps hat is off. My hat is off to Highspire Mayor Von Hess, who picked up the phone and called me and said,
Wow.
Joe, I called to talk to you about this. He didn't call it silly, but I could tell he was no fan of it. He was not a fan of interrupting kids at play. So I don't think that's been released anywhere. I think this is the first anybody's getting this
Breaking
information.
news.
Breaking news. Yep. We're going to call that segment, Bill, the producer's view.
Yes. I mean, Joe, could you do me a favor? I
Sure.
mean, could you slow down a little bit because I'm afraid that if word leaks out that you're breaking news, I'm going to lose you on these Facebook lives.
I can't go any further.
ABC, CNN,
This is
NBC.
no. How am I going to get up every morning and walk down at Wildwood Park and feed the stray cats and all that stuff? I can't be going. I can't be
Well,
working out.
just the next watch, you're going to get some phone calls from New York, LA, and Chicago.
Oh,
Agents are going to
okay.
be going after you.
All right.
They're going to be seeking you because you you outshine you outshine me on this stuff by far. I
I
mean,
don't think so. I just thought that was good because I tell you again, I'm going to use the word for the second time. You used it already too. There was a lot of scuttlebutt over this.
yeah.
There really was. There really is. And I got onto
Well,
a couple of Facebook threads today, and I said, kind of stop the press, and it doesn't look like it's gonna. I didn't want to give away all the information I had, but again, I'll just close it with this. That's Mayor Von Hess, Highspire Mayor Von Hess, came right from him that that's not going to fly. There's not going to be a new ordinance. Let the kids play.
all right. We've set a record, Joe. We've had 4 people consistently watching tonight. So put your name in the comments. We'd like to congratulate you. Maybe I'll come up with a special gift for you guys. We'll pick one of 4 to go out with you guys too. Anyways, thanks, Joe, for helping out. I think we've got a
Certainly.
lot accomplished here. If I can find the time, I may cut this thing up and distribute it out. But I realized, Joe, I said that before, but the problem is I don't have a budget. So I don't have money to buy these AI-driven editing things. So I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. I do have some video editing software.
Okay.
And so we'll just have to do the best we can under $0 budget.
All right.
And
Sounds good.
I take that as a challenge. I mean, if anyone can start a news organization from having no seed money, that in itself may make the Guinness Book of World Records.
Bill, I would not buy one beer, one cup of coffee, one anything if I were you until I bought a new fedora.
Well, we better get on it because I'm going
Yeah,
to be
man,
wearing that fedora.
that's not a fedora, buddy. That hat would be
Okay.
worn by a guy named Hansel.
Okay,
Okay,
I may have to delay the fedora thing until a
I'll
later
help
date.
you. I'll help you with
Okay, all
that.
right.
All right.
All right, everyone. Thank you. We'll see you later.
All right.
Have a good night.
Bye bye. Good night.
I'll end it here.
Okay, you end it.